In this video, I want to address some questions I've received about browsing and playing contents of a USB storage. Um, this should be intuitive for the most part, but there might be a few things here and there that need some experimentation or a quick look at the product's manual to figure out, which I'll try to cover here in this video. So the first thing I want to cover is the display information and how you can change the information shown for each track. So you can see here on the bottom we have the folder number, track number, and the time elapsed from the current track. And on the top you have either the file name or a combination of track title plus either the artist name or the album name based on the ID3 tag. And the way you can control or choose what information is shown for each track is using the display button on the remote control, which toggles between 3 different modes. So in the mode that I'm currently in, the system is showing the file name. And if I press the button once, it will show the track title and the artist name. And if I press the button again, it will show the title plus the album name. And if I press it again, it will go back to the file name. If you don't need to browse the contents of a drive or look for any particular folder or track, you can just stick to the top section of the remote control and alternatively just use the basic buttons on the main unit. You can use the play, pause, stop button or previous, next to move between the tracks. And you can also use the numbered buttons on the remote to go directly to a track if you know the number of the track. However, in order to navigate the contents, you need to use the buttons on the bottom section of the remote. You can use the folder plus or folder minus buttons to move back and forth between the folders that are on the drive. And once you get to the folder you're looking for, you can either press the enter button to navigate the contents of that folder, or you can press the right arrow key or button to list the tracks within that folder. So let me quickly demonstrate this. So you can see that currently I'm on folder number 1, and if I press the folder plus button, I'll move to the next folder, and the folder title is going to be displayed. And if I press enter, it's going to enter the folder and show the title of the first track within that folder. And as I mentioned, you can alternatively, instead of pressing enter, you can press the right arrow button to similarly list the contents or tracks within that folder. And once you enter a folder, you can press the right and left arrow keys to go back and forth between the contents of that folder. Another thing I should mention is that you might expect the folders on the drive to be sorted and listed alphabetically, but unfortunately that's not the case. According to the product's manual, the folders are listed based on the order in which they were copied to the USB drive. And to address this, you can either copy your folders to the drive again, remove them and copy them again in the order you want them to appear and be listed, or you can use a utility application to manipulate the date and time of the files and folders on your USB drive and get them to appear in the order that you want. Next, I want to cover the different playback modes which you can control using the folder mode on the remote. You basically have two modes, memory mode and the folder mode. In memory mode, which is the default, when playback reaches the end of a folder, it's automatically going to move on to the next folder and continue playing until it goes through all the folders on the drive. But in the folder mode, once it reaches the last track of the folder, it's going to stop the playback. And you can tell which playback mode you're in based on the FLD indicator on the display shown here. And when the FLD indicator is on, you are in the folder mode, and if you press the folder mode again, it goes off, meaning that you're in memory mode. One of the less intuitive things that I mentioned earlier is browsing the contents of the USB drive while playing a track. You can basically navigate the folders and look for another track without having to interrupt or stop the track that's currently playing. For the most part, you can do this similar to when nothing is playing, but there's some slight differences which I'm going to talk about next. So the main difference that I want to point out is that when playback is in progress, if you navigate to a folder and press the enter button, instead of listing its contents, the system will start playing the entire contents of that folder. And so to list the contents of the folder rather than start playing them, you should use the right arrow button instead, which allows you to list the tracks within the folder without changing the playback. Hope you find this video helpful, and thanks for watching.